Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a really interesting lesson in store. I've taught you the down the line version of tethering the club to our center of gravity. So today we're going to make it three-dimensional. We're going to essentially take that feeling and we're going to align it with the target so that we now have a three-dimensional swing plane that we can aim left, right, up, down, everything in between. All right, so stick around, a lot to cover. Try to make it as concise as possible, and that's basically it. Here we go. So for those of you that haven't subscribed yet, I really don't know what you're waiting for, but I hope you consider helping the underdog out. And for those of you that have, thank you. And for those of you that are looking for a real swing development program, I want you guys to consider joining my academy. We are only charging $10 a month for now. For a promotion period from now through the whole month of April, it will only be $10. It'll give you access to the first 7 drills of our series that will essentially build a very repeatable golf swing. After that, we're going to get into the advanced drills, and my prices will be going up. So for those of you that are original members, I will maintain the promotional pricing. So please, take a minute to consider joining. It's only $10 a month until May. After that, it'll be $25 a month. And trust me, by then, the word's going to be out that I'm giving away the secrets. Hell, I might even be canceled. So get in while you can, because I don't know how long this is going to last. Okay, so today we're working on taking our tethered center of gravity feeling, which essentially we want an imaginary line from the butt of the club to our belt buckle or our center of gravity. So for those of you that are a little taller, it's going to be a little higher up. For those of you a little shorter, it'll be a little lower down. Pretty simple stuff, right? But what I haven't talked to you about is vectoring your center of gravity to the front half of your body. In other words, to lock into your spine angle. So my precursor to this video was stay in the shot, essentially keeping your head down so that your spine angle is maintained. In other words, if we don't keep our head down, come off the ball, our spine angle then shifts, which shifts our swing plane. So today we have to learn how to set the shaft in line with our center of gravity around our arc so that we're actually aiming correctly and we can have a repeatable swing plane. So for instance, if my hands are too far forward, my swing plane then goes outward. If my hands are too far back, my swing plane then goes leftward. So the question is, how do we maintain our swing plane in line with our arc consistently? So the first thing I taught you was essentially that we want the butt of the club to match our center of gravity. Now, for those of you that have been working with that, hopefully by now, you have found basically your low point. Because when we do that, when the club is always in line with our center of gravity, the low point is always relatively the same spot, maybe a millimeter or two difference at most, because the center of gravity is how our mind, our neurology, finds things in space. That's why we have it. Think of it like a tuning fork or a calibration instrument. Our center of gravity, which is usually between our hips, is how we align our depth perception and our proprioception, which in other words, our nerve ending feeling of space around us, to the low point that we hit the golf ball. So if you're too low or you're too high, you're not going to have proper perception and you're going to miss hit a lot of shots. So today we're going to assume that you guys have figured that out. You've set your lie angles correctly, which, as you guys have seen from my Flatter is Better videos, lie angles are extremely important. I've done a podcast on it. If you have not started adjusting your lie angles by now, it's probably time to start doing that so that you can get the butt of the club pointed at the center of gravity. And when you hinge at the hips with a neutral spine, you feel all of the stress in your glutes, which is what we're going for. Okay? From there, now we have to make it three-dimensional. We have to make sure that butt of the club is pointed not only at our belt buckle, but directly at our center of gravity, not to the right of it to the left of it, in front of it, behind it, right? So this would be in front and this would be behind, okay? Best way to do that, again, as I've taught you guys before, is to take this tee. You can take a full-size tee, you can take half a tee, and I want you to put it in the back of the club like so. I want you to just practice pointing directly at your belt buckle. So what will happen over time is you'll start to notice, oh, I'm pointed ahead of my belt buckle here. I need to bring it back. And what that'll do is that'll actually aim you properly in line with your spine angle, which will allow you to swing around your spine, stay down over the shot, and hit much straighter shots. Okay? So let's go ahead and practice that real quick. So for most of you recreational golfers, I see this. You get a real strong grip, you put it way out in front of you, and now it's pointed over there. And if you would just point it back to here, you would realize you're pointed way left, and what you're doing is neurologically, you're hitting straight shots on an incorrect biomechanical plane because you have manipulated the club face at address. Instead, something that works far better is to point it at your belt buckle with the waggle, as we've learned, like so. And now we're aimed straight and our posture, ball position, everything is in place, and we can just swing. All right, so this is just a different view. I'm gonna kind of aim that way so you guys get a little better angle. This would be the caddy view. Again, we want this pointed at our belt buckle, like so, which will put us in line with our spine angle, and we can swing freely. And just because you guys know me, love to be thorough, that was an 8-iron. This is going to be a 5-iron. Essentially, same idea, point at the belt buckle. Then from there, we're perfectly aligned, we swing away. All right, one final angle here. Get the spectator view. Again, point directly at our belt buckle. So again, if you're too far forward, you just bring it back. If you're too far back, you bring it forward. No big deal. We align it with the waggle, just like so. Swing away. All right, we got a little bonus content now. You guys know the deal. The bonus content is where we really unlock the secret. So from here, what I want you guys to understand is that lie angle, slope, ball position, everything will be ruled by this. So you will no longer have to think about having a perfect ball position. It will naturally happen. So for instance, if we're waggling, we get to the club or the ball, and our club's pointed here to my left hip, you immediately know you're wrong. You bring this back to your center of gravity, and all of a sudden you realize the ball position is too far back. You reset. It's pretty simple stuff. It will take some practice, so definitely get out there on the range, guys, work with this. But over time, you'll waggle. It'll come right back to the center of gravity, like so. You'll set into the ball with neutral spine angle. You'll hinge from the hips. You'll be pointed perfectly. You'll know exactly where you're aimed because your spine angle and your eye line, your eye dominance will be matching, and then you could just swing. So I'm sure at this point you're asking yourself, will this work with driver? And the answer is yes, it works with all clubs. The only difference is with a driver, especially a modern driver, your ball position is anywhere between your left heel and, well, your lead heel and your lead toe. Now I flare my toe out, and I love to play the ball pretty much off the center to the tip of my foot, somewhere in there, depending on how high I want to hit it. But for you, you got to work with it. But let's say we do that, and our hands are pointed here. Once again, our swing plane is rightward, which most likely will mean we're going to hit a duck hook. But as soon as we pull it back to the center of gravity, everything is in line, and now I can swing on the proper swing plane. My eye line will match my spine angle, thus everything will be on plane, and I will be able to perceive where my target is much better. So let's practice that. Okay, so it's a little forward. Let's bring it back. Now it's square, right at the center of my center of gravity. And then we just swing. And as always, I give you guys a range drill because that's important. Got to come out and practice.
Wow.
So here's the drill, guys. We've got 5 different clubs. We're going to hit a sand wedge, a pitching wedge, an 8-iron, a 5-iron, and then a driver. You're welcome to go through your entire bag, but that will take a lot more swings. So for most recreational golfers, this is about as much time as you'll have. So here's what we're going to do. So we're going to set up in line with these 2 alignment sticks. So make sure they're pointed at the target. And in this case, they're pointed just left of that little green pin out there. So let's just bring them a little bit rightward. Make sure it's pointed right at that green pin. Much better. Okay. So from there, now that we've got our alignment, we want to make sure that our eye line, our dominant eye, can turn up and down this particular path and line up directly with the green stick. That's how we know that our spine angle is going to be perpendicular to our arc, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so from here, we waggle, get everything attached to the center of gravity. We get our eye line to match our target line. We set into it, and now our spine angle and everything is matching directly with our center of gravity, our target, and our eye line. So in other words, we're set up biomechanically correctly. From there, you should have a sense of where the target is in space, much better than you have in the past. From there, you just think about the target and swing. Just like so. So I am on a little side slope that did go touch left, but no worries. Okay, so again, you're going to take that. You're going to work through your 8-iron, your pitching wedge, 5-iron. But just to keep this video concise, I'm going to hit an 8-iron for you. Same thing, dominant eye. Okay, I see I am named just a little left of that green thing, the green pin. That's okay. The goal here is just to line up all of our angles. Beautiful. Everything's pointing at my center of gravity. I'm ready to go. Now I just swing. All right, I won't hit any more. I've already hit plenty. That's the drill, guys. Try to get through those 4 clubs until you get everything right, and try to hit 3 in a row. Good luck. Thanks for watching, and as always, comment, like, subscribe. I'm here to answer questions, so if you have any curiosities about this or something tips your brain, I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear how you guys are thinking out there. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.